Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Graph Espresso. The Graph Espresso is where you get your fresh brew of the graph news, fast, focused, and fun. My name is Steph. I'm one of your co-hosts today. We're also going to be introducing Chris, my co-host, in just a bit. But before that, I want to tell you a bit about the Graph Espresso and the company behind it, Pinax. So the Graph Espresso will be talking about the news of the graph ecosystem, all of the chains that are being onboarded, as well as the latest and greatest Firehose and Substreams technology. Pinax, the company that I co-founded, or that I work for, is now a major player in the graph ecosystem. Pinax has been involved for the last 2 years or so, and we're now one of the core devs focusing on being a provider of Substreams and Firehose technology and services. So before we get into the show, I want to, of course, introduce my co-host, Chris. If you're an OG member of the Graph community, you've certainly seen Chris around. He's a member of the Graph Advocates. He's a member of the Graphnauts, and just all around subject matter experts. So let's welcome him to the show.
Hey Steph, this is a blast. We're all gonna have fun with this. I'm excited to get this project going. Jump right into it. Pinax, like you mentioned, great organization. We've been here for a couple years now. We're excited to keep going with what all we're working on. If you want to learn a little bit more about us, check out the Know Your Indexer segment that we did. Know Your Indexer is a great platform that highlights the indexers that are working in the graph. Indexers are the backbone of the protocol. We're the ones that organize the data, serve the queries to the people that are looking for that data. Know Your Indexer, a lot of different info that you can get there, but that's a great venue for checking out what we are about.
All right. Thank you for that quick introduction, Chris. And let's move on to our next segment today. The segment is called Community Comments. You guys will get familiar with all the segments soon enough. But in this segment, we're highlighting the latest activities in the GraphFam community and recapping the latest community events. Let's see what's on the docket here today. Good morning, 2024. The new era is upon us. Here we can see a tweet that I did actually starting this year. I'm very excited to get to learn more about the graph and the graph ecosystem. While Pinax has been involved for 2 years, I myself have not been involved in graph. I'm jumping in this year. And so I'm looking forward to learning a lot about the graph updates on this show. And Chris, I'm looking forward for you to explain to me all of the things that are going on, because there's lots going on and there's lots to learn. So this is me. I was kind of feeling hype about it, flexing our new Pinax swag. But there was also some meme contest recently, and here we can see the meme winner here. I'll run the video in the background here. Basically, of course, meme contests are always fun. The graph community very active. One of the things that I've been impressed so far, how active it is. And here in this meme, you can see a video that highlights all of the things that the graph protocol can bring. Oh, we got some Firehose and Substreams on the desk. Pinax, very excited about that technology. We're involved with that. We're some of the top providers of that technology. SQL, LLMs on the way, and all sorts of other things that are included in the world of data services that are going live on the graph protocol. And there we go. We got files, taps, Scholar, chain integrations, scaled indexer stack, non-determinate. I don't even know what all those words mean. I'm hoping I'm going to learn throughout the course of this show and future shows. There was lots of great submissions here. World of data services, like I talked about, how you put all of these things together: development, empowerment, optimized indexer performance, protocol evolution and resiliency, interconnected graph of data to make the soup that is the graph protocol. So congratulations to all the winners, and thanks for everyone who participated in this contest and put some smiles on my face as I browsed Twitter. All right, moving on to some more community news. Chris, why don't you talk to us about this upcoming initiative?
Grafternauts is the largest unofficial community. We started out as a Telegram chat. Now we've got Telegram, Discord, a couple different places you can follow us. But we launched a new initiative called Grapher. It's a series of interviews that Emmy Aguilar is hosting. We're really excited to see what she does with the show. This has been a fun ride. We'll see where she goes with it. First interview was just recorded last week, coming out very soon. I don't know if it's this week, but if it's not this week, it'll be next. Make sure you follow Emmy and the Grafternauts on X and Forecaster to keep up with this as it develops. Like I said, Emmy's an icon. She'll be a powerhouse with this initiative. We're excited to see what she can do with it. Speaking of Forecaster, a lot of the Graph community members have joined us over the last couple weeks. Graph actually put up a frames bounty on that, so check that out. What are frames? Frames on GraphCat on Forecaster can turn any cast into an interactive app. I'll be exploring this over the next few days myself, but this is a project that could certainly bring Web3 onto the main stage as far as the broader community is concerned. Another excellent community production is Graph Community Talk, which is produced by Graph Advocates DAO. Steph, did you get a chance to check out the topics this month?
I have not. Why don't you give me a quick rundown?
We can do that. First thing jumped out at me, Geo. Geo is the brainchild of Yaniv Tal, who's one of the founders of the Graph. Geo is a Web3 browser and a knowledge base that leverages the Graph. Its public launch is coming this year, which is something everybody's excited to see. It could have a very prominent role in the next evolution of the Graph and the implementation of LLMs and some of the AI application as well. Another one of the big highlights in this current episode is Tenderize. Tenderize just launched the V2 of their Liquid GRT staking protocol. It's GRT is one of the three supported tokens in this initial launch. Liquid staking is a big priority for the DeFi crowd. So bringing the Graph and GRT into that is a step forward for our community. Check out the link. Ask around in the community. There's always someone willing to help. If you don't know already, you're going to find that out very soon. Like Steph mentioned early on, this is a welcoming community. And there's a lot of people that are looking to just help bring people along and answer questions and point people in the right direction. The third thing from Community Talk this time was GraphOps demoing their new Subgraph Radio, which is a phenomenal tool that allows better communication between the indexers in the Graph. And I mentioned that earlier on. The indexers are the backbone. They're the ones that are doing the work. This just helps eliminate some friction within the decentralized network. And Subgraph Radio is going to be a crucial tool for indexers moving forward as we go along.
All right, that sounds exciting and all, but maybe it's time for me to ask you a very basic question. What is an indexer on the Graph exactly? If you can give us maybe just a line or two.
Sure. Indexers are the ones that run. Right now we're working with, we started out with subgraphs, and the indexers are the independent units, whether that's just one person, whether it's a team, but each indexer is an independent entity that runs the subgraph and then provides that data back to the consumer. That's, right now, like I said, we're working with subgraphs, but substreams is another thing that's coming. Firehose plays a big role in that. And we're going to get into this a little bit later with the world of data services. Indexers are going to open up a whole toolbox of possibilities and more things that they can do to help provide data to the Web3 community.
Great explanation, Chris. Thanks. Pinax, while being an indexer was not our initial area of focus, we've now joined the indexer community, and we are actively indexing the subgraphs on the chain, etc. So if you want to support Pinax, you can do that by liking this video, subscribing to our YouTube channel, visiting us on X at pinax.network, and also delegating to our indexer. That's very important to us right now, and it's a great way for you to show your appreciation. Our indexer address, I think, is pinax.eth. Very simple to remember. So if you can delegate to us, we appreciate it very much. All right, let's keep the show going into this next segment, which we're calling the GG News Brew, which is quick news. And yes, the release of Subgraph Radio is a big story in the Graph Indexer community, and they're already putting it to use. Here we've got some more information about Subgraph Radio. This is coming, of course, from GraphOps. Here you can see on the team some more articles as well. And with all of the links that you'll see on this show, know that you can check the show notes below to go deeper, to check out the links, go deeper, read the entire article, etc. So here, we're not looking to go too deep into each topic because there's a lot to cover. But we definitely want to give you the resources to learn more if you want to learn more. So check out the show notes below if ever you're curious to know more about the topics that we're talking about here. All right, so let's keep going here. What else do we have on the docket today? State of the Graph Q4 2023 from Messari. So Messari, they do great reports on all sorts of blockchain networks. Graph was highlighted here in Q4 2023. Quick note, as this is the first show, we've been kind of building it for a little while. Some of these stories are maybe not super fresh. For example, something that was released in Q4 of 2023. However, bear with us. We'll catch up very quickly, and our hope is to make these shows regular and allow you to stay up on all of the latest news. But for this first show, maybe we'll have a bit older news in here, such as the State of the Graph Q4 2023. Chris, did you see anything in this report that jumped out to you as interesting and you'd want to share?
One of the things that came out in here, and they're talking about, you know, what's coming for this year, is the world of data services. That's the biggest thing in there. I'm really excited about that. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Moving just beyond subgraphs into substreams, and again, Firehose is a support of that. But multiple data sources, new query languages, support for large language models. Lots of acronyms that I don't know the name, that I don't know what they stand for, but I know that there's a lot of people that use them. And the objective is to make the graph a one-stop shop for the devs' various data needs. You know, whether that is large language models, the AI narrative, that's, you know, something that's driving adoption right now. The core dev team from the graph that's leading this charge is Semiotic Labs. You're going to hear more about them in a little bit, but they are a fantastic team. Great people there.
All right, great. Thanks, Chris. And we'll definitely be learning more about this in the coming shows. All right, moving on. Oh, sorry. Last other piece of news that we wanted to highlight here in the Cryptonymus, an article that highlights that the on-chain data indexing protocol, which is the Graph, aims to expand its services in the crypto world. That's right. So the goal is to expand into a world of data services that goes beyond mere subgraphs, offering new cases for data scientists and more. So this includes taking data from multiple sources, new query languages, and even support for LLMs, like you mentioned, Chris. So this is very exciting, and it's always nice to see excellent articles like this in the wider crypto space, educating everyone on the potential of the graph. Another great source of information, look at that, it's the Pinax blog. So blog.pinax.network. We've been publishing a lot of articles. We're ramping up our content here on our blog. You can learn a lot, from going deep on specific matters to general information if you're not an expert yet. There's a bit of everything on there. Highly recommend you go check it out. For example, here we've got a blog post on a layperson's view of a world of data services. So if you're not too sure what all this means, even after listening to this show, there's perhaps a lot of new terms, new concepts you're not familiar with, dive into our blog and you'll be able to get up to speed very quickly. All right, next up, we've got the Technical Telescope segment, where we do high-level technical dives into specific topics. So here we're looking today at the EIP 4444, which in which Graph would be a central element of this scaling solution for Ethereum. Chris, why don't you give us a little explanation of what this means?
Sure. There's a lot of different scaling solutions in play for Ethereum. They've all got their pros and cons, but EIP 4444 leverages the graph and Firehose to help preserve historical data more efficiently. Here at PinX, we love all things Firehose, and our new article goes in depth on how that fits into EIP 4444. That's just a massive topic, so I'm going to refer you to Semiotics YouTube video and research paper. They made a really solid presentation on this at Datapalooza recently. Fun fact, Vitalik himself was also there. Like I mentioned earlier, Semiotic is a brilliant team, and we're very fortunate to have them in the ecosystem driving this initiative. Every month on the Graph Forum, each core dev team posts an update that gives just some descriptions on what they're working on, challenges that they're facing, what they've accomplished in the last month, what different things are top of mind for them. So Semiotics' latest one in there specifically references this, but you can check out the ones from Streaming Fast, EdgeNode, PinX, the Guild, Geo, Masari, GraphOps. You'll notice very quickly that there's a lot of quality people and a lot of really solid teams that are working on building Graph. And that's, to me personally, that's something that stands out about the protocol, is just the level of expertise of the individuals that are building it.
Absolutely. Definitely some great teams in this community. I'm personally excited to get to know a lot more of these people and hopefully meet some of you maybe at even a live conference this year. I haven't been to one in way too long. All right, moving on to our next topics. Here, we've got a post from GraphOps talking about the latest Graph Internet Office Hours, where they unveiled the file hosting service, a decentralized data sharing platform with integrated payments and optimized for seamless file exchange. What's this all about, Chris?
That's another playoff of with the Subgraph Radio that they mentioned earlier, and that's the GraphOps is one of the core dev teams that is specifically looking at reducing friction within the protocol. This is just another way of doing that. Another way where indexers can share files back and forth, don't have to do it on chain. So obviously, no on chain means no gas fees, much more efficient, and integrating payments is something that will help with the world of data services, which we talked about a little bit earlier. That's still being built out, and this is one of the early building blocks for what we're looking to accomplish with that.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Chris. Next up here, we've got a nice article by Streaming Fast, another team with some excellent people. Shared Intelligence Layer, how the Graph's decentralized intelligence layer paves the way for rapid innovation. So you can find this on Streaming Fast Medium page. And this is a good piece of content from Streaming Fast that kind of highlights some of the vision and what they're working towards. Anything else to add on this article, Chris?
It's a very well written article, so you'll enjoy reading that. But just the TLDR, right now the blockchain data is if you're looking for it, you request it, you get it, and then you have to decode it into whatever it is that you're looking for, regardless of which method you're using to do that. What they're looking at with the shared intelligence layer, would be flipping that sequence on its head. So it would go to decoding the data and having that available, and then people can request it, and then it's received. And so instead of devs all having to do all this work of decoding data and putting it in silos and then having to sort it out, all that kind of goes to the beginning of the system, which again, the existing graph indexing service saves everyone time and money. This just pushes that process a little bit farther down the stack. If you're interested in learning the tech that's being used in the graph, I would really suggest checking out Builders Office Hours. It's a weekly venue where builders from across the community just give some nitty gritty details and tutorials on their work, what they're working on, how it fits into the broader ecosystem. One of the most recent ones was talking about the composability of substreams and how those can work together to give people better data. Every week, though, has solid content for the technical crowd in the ecosystem.
Yes, talking about content for the technical crowd, we've got Graph Builders Office Hours, I think, which run every 2 weeks, and they're public for anyone to join. And here you can really get to interact with some of the core devs of the graph, as well as just learn about all sorts of different projects being built. So definitely recommend you guys subscribe to the Graph YouTube channel, like so, and get up to date on all of this great content for builders. All right, our next segment, called the Graph Universe Expansion New Chain Spotlight. This section highlights the chain agnostic nature of the graph, and we discuss multi-chain collaboration. So the graph is expanding and many new chains are being added to the network. For example, the graph has added support for optimism. Get a nice little crowd cheer sound effect going for that. What do you think about this news, Chris?
This was a big one. Optimism was the first chain to complete the new chain integration process, so that's an exciting milestone to reach. Pinax has a blog post that summarizes that process, so I'll refer you there for some more info. But that was a big one. Getting this off the ground, getting this process started, getting those first steps out of the way is always important. So we were glad to see this one get done.
Absolutely. And here is the article you mentioned. No, I'm sorry. This is the Graph Indexer Office Hours article where we kind of recapped some of what went down. And I think this next article here, that's right, is the article about navigating the chain integration process, a comprehensive guide to GIP 0057. Chris, real quickly, what are the advantages of a layer 1 or layer 2 of a network being integrated into the Graph's protocol? Why would chains want to do that?
There's a lot of reasons, but the main one is that anybody that is using that chain, any dev that's building on that chain, if they're not supported by the graph, they have to develop their own indexing solution, which means they've got to maintain the infrastructure, build the infrastructure. Most of the time, that means it's a centralized option. Using the graph, that's decentralized. So, if you've got a fire in one of the servers somewhere, your website doesn't go down. Your app still continues to function. If somebody in some government in some random country decides they don't like you and so they shut down your server, that doesn't matter because there's a bunch of other indexers on the graph that are running it. So there's any of the benefits from decentralization, whether that's stability, security, just general uptime. You want to be supported on the decentralized network in order to recognize those and realize those benefits.
Maximum redundancy, maximum diversification of your power source, your internet source, your jurisdiction, all of these things. Us at Pinax, we operate in many different data centers actually, and different jurisdiction is one of our elements that we try to hit. Different power sources, different internet sources, so that if one of our data centers goes down, we've got another one providing the services to our users. On a higher level, then you've got the Graph protocol that has a bunch of people like Pinax indexers that are providing the same services. So if like Chris says, Pinax provider goes down, well, there's another provider that has that data available as soon as you need it. So that's the big advantage of the Graph protocol and of using a decentralized service instead of relying on a centralized one. Excellent stuff, Chris. One more thing I want to mention while we're talking about integrating new chains to the Graph protocol is that Pinax actually plays an important role in that process. So we're part of the team that onboards a new chain, that helps explain to them what that means, what they need to do on their side, how to integrate the technology, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're an L1 and L2 or L3 L0, whatever your L is, and you want to be integrated into the graph, reach out to us at Pinax, reach out to the Graph Foundation, and we'll probably be talking to you at some point in the future, and we're excited about that. All right, let's keep it going. We do want to keep these shows to around 20 minutes. I don't think we will hit that. I think we're going to go over today, but it's a first show, you know, bear with us. Still getting our bearings here. But yeah, so let's keep going. Did I miss something here? Hold on. Blast, that's what I want to talk about. Congrats to the Blast L2 community on the launch of the testnet. The graph now supports Blast subgraphs. So that's another chain that's been recently onboarded into the Graph protocol. And, we're excited to have Blast along. And we're looking forward to onboarding more chains in the near future. All right, coming up to the end of the show here, our last segment, which we call the extra shot, where we're covering a couple of more quick hitters from the graph and wider crypto space industry. So we got a post from Bankless here. Web3 is meeting Web2 in a massive way. Why the ENS GoDaddy partnership is bigger than you think. So this thread is very interesting. While there is no mention of the graph specifically in this thread, the ENF governance subgraph is an important part of this partnership, which means that the graph is playing an integral part in this news, which is just another example of how integrated the graph is in all these different parts of the crypto ecosystem, which is very exciting to see. All right, what else do we have? ETH Denver 2024. Do you know anyone going to ETH Denver, Chris?
I hope so. I'll be there.
There you go.
No, it'll be a fun time. We're looking forward to it. There's a lot of different people that I haven't seen in a year. People that I've talked to online, but have never actually met in person. So it'll be a fun event. I know it was a blast last year, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we can pull off this year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to some pics from you from out there as well. I don't know when this episode is going to be released exactly. ETH Denver is in just a couple of days, so it's very possible that this is released after the event. So hopefully you had a great time there, Chris, and check out our Twitter for all sorts of ETH Denver content. All right, what else do we have? A couple more quick hitters. Sponsorship announcement. So the Graph protocol is going to be a sponsor at ETH Denver, so you should see an impressive presence there, not just from Pinax, but of course the Graph Foundation and other core dev teams and just the community. We've got Marcus Rain here from Edge and Node that's going to be a speaker, and we've also got Kevin Jones from Edge and Node that is also going to be a speaker. So the Graph will have a significant presence there at that event, and I'm jealous that you get to go, and hopefully I'll be at one of those events this year sometime. All right, Chris, I think that's it. I think we made it through all the news. I think went pretty good for first show. What did you think?
Hey, nobody choked and coughed, and I think we're good. We're good. It was a good time. It's a good time. We got it all out.
I wish my light would have worked so I wouldn't be so dark. But other than that, I think all the technical things went smoothly. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, follow us on X. Do all of the things to support the show, to support the Graph, to support Pinax. Delegate to our indexer if you can. That's much appreciated. And until next time, see you, Chris, and see you, everyone else. Bye-bye.